Okay, guys, so let's pick up where we left off. We're talking about the subject. So, the subject of the article or the document, the Declaration of Independence, is independence and democracy. Remember that the subject is also the topic. So, just something to think about. And then when we look at our chart overall, everything on the outside seems to be done. And now we have to move forward to the actual middle section, tone, syntax, which is aka structure. That's things such as uh, sentence structure, paragraph structure, essay structure. Something as little as a period could possibly be a structural move. So, just something to think about. Also, like the appeals or the rhetorical mode, like cause and effect, pros and cons, exemplification, argumentation. Those are all things that you need to think of when filling out this area. Okay? Diction. Diction is language. So language is based upon the culture in which so you only speak a certain way when you're around Barack Obama, or you would only speak a certain way when you're around your friends. So you would think that informal versus formal, and we mentioned in class that like the Spanish word usted. Usted would only be spoken when you're around people that you would give respect to, but you would say tu to someone that's actually on your level or perhaps a friend or of some sort. So tone, tone is author's attitude. So what's the author's attitude towards the text or the topic? So something to think about there once you're filling out this chart. So let's go ahead and get started filling this thing out. And I always want to mention at this particular time that it's important to have out your packet that I've given everyone in class. If you don't have this, then you can easily access it in your Google Drive. But it has things like rhetorical modes, has compare and contrast words that you could possibly look for, and then be easy to find them within the text if you knew exactly what compare and contrast words were. Also, we have verb markers, okay? I'm going to turn it around so we can flip it here. Okay, verb marker sheet for analysis. As you can see there, wonderful, wonderful resource to use. Then we have tone words. So we have tone words like if I'm looking for words that mean happiness or sadness, those are very basic. But what are some other words that possibly mean that? So we look at let's look at despairing, dire, disastrous, like things of that discord. Cheery, contented. Let's look at elated. Look at that. That's a good one right there. Festive. Just some words just to refer to. So tone words, got a list that's in your packet. You also have a list of diction words as well. Okay, so guys, all the work is already done for you. All you got to do is just find something that's appropriate in your text. Now, of course, this takes practice over time, but you have a reference sheet, so it makes things a lot easier for you. Also in the packet, as you can see, is just a couple more pages of diction words. So you're not lacking in that area. And then, later on, when we get to thesis statements, it's in there as well. Okay, excellent. So that's a little resource for you. Coming back over here, guys, we mentioned in class that, well, you noticed that in the text that there was a lot of repetition. So repetition actually goes under one of these sections here, but we have to know exactly where does it go. All right, so we said repetition goes here in syntax because it's a structural move. So if repetition is the type of structure, then we need to have evidence to prove that. And we only want a few words. And we know that the one word or phrase that's been used over and over again is he has. So there's an example of how to do this. Well, there's another thing. Hey, he uses he repeats something over and over again. And I believe the second page here. Oh, actually the third, okay. So we're gonna go to the third. He also mentions for a lot here as well. So for, something to think about, sorry. For. So I'm gonna actually put that he repeats for as well. So I'm giving myself an opportunity to have several pieces of evidence to prove repetition is the structure in which he uses to argue his case. Okay. Excellent. So we're going to move on to diction. Okay. Diction. Well, we know that diction is the language, but a lot of people have been taught word choice. Word choice is great, but there has to be a specific word choice that is applied to the piece in order for word choice to actually be the definition of diction. But we know that diction is language. So what words does he mention over and over again to get his audience to be involved, to understand that this is not a struggle that one should do alone, but yet we should do things together. Look at that. We hold these truths to be self evident that all men are created equal. Right? Look at that. Man, he wants equality as well. Look at that. He keeps mentioning words here that involve the audience. So, well, what better place to put that in our chart except for diction? So, diction, I'm going to put, well, he repeats the word, let's see. He wants to talk about unity. Okay? So, unity is the language in which he is speaking, right? He wants unity to come about. Well, what words is he using to let the people know that unity is what he wants? Then he talks about equality or equal. Okay? So those are two pieces of evidence that prove that. All right, moving on up to tone. So tone, the author's attitude towards the text, we know that, well, he's being very informative, so that's a good start. Okay? He's being informative. He's informing Congress that, hey guys, we got to act now if we want something to change. And he's also being very critical. So those are two forms of tone. He has a very informative tone and a very critical tone. But we have to have evidence to prove that. Okay? I'm going to go to the same spot in which we found before. Now, I wouldn't encourage you to use the same evidence all the time, but it says, we hold, okay? We hold these truths to be self evident. That whole line right there, starting there and ending there, that proves that the tone is very critical. Okay? Going back to our sheet here, we hold these truths. And I'm going to put dot dot or the ellipsis, as we say, to help us understand that that sentence is not complete. All right, guys. So what we have here is we have all the information that we need on the outside, as we can see, as well as the inside. Excellent.